This is Carl from National RV Detroit, and I'm going to walk you through this 2021 Catalina Trailblazer toy hauler, number 28 THS. Okay, so we'll start on the door side at the rear here. You can see we have the door down with the railing up. Okay, you have scissor type stabilizers, which you just crank them up and down with a crank or with the 3/4 inch socket on a drill. This is your fuel pump nozzle. Okay, this is where you fill your fuel tank, your fuel cell, right? And then this is your fuel gauge and the switch to turn the pump on and off. It's pretty self-explanatory stuff. A dog leash tie-off or any kind of varmint you have. This is a power and antenna Thru in case you want to put a TV out here to watch. Alright, you have a power awning with an LED light strip, outside speakers. Your stairs fold into the trailer, and then obviously they're very stable. If you want to adjust the length of the legs for the terrain, you can pull this pin right here and slide them up and down so you get them the length that you need them. All right. Of course, this is your hitch. It's a Husky centerline weight distribution hitch. We're going to show you how it operates when you pick up your trailer, but if you need to, in an emergency, if you're not familiar with it already, you can always refer back to their website. They've got a good hookup video there for it that'll guide you through it if you need to refresh your memory. All right, let me just look in here and see what else we got in here. I guess that's it. You got your dump hose, and then this is a 30 amp reducer. It reduces 30 amp to 20 or 15, I guess you would say. Okay, you got a toy lock, which is a cable to wrap around anything you want to chain to the frame or tie to the frame. You got a deck on top of the battery, which is a cool thing. I haven't seen too many of those. It's actually pretty darn nice. You have a power tongue jack, of course, and if you have any trouble with it, like it fails, you can use the onboard crank. There's a crank in there somewhere. I'll find it for you. Put it in a hole and crank this manually if it happens to fail on you, so you can always get out of trouble to get hitched and unhitched. All right, which is a good thing to have. Deep cycle marine battery, and this is a kill switch right here to disconnect your battery from the coach trailer part. So you can, instead of taking a cable off when you put it in storage, you just shut it off. This is your water heater. Okay, so this is a Dometic 6-gallon water heater that works on both gas and electric. So this electric switch is out here. So first let me show you this. This is the anode rod. Let's see if I can see it. The anode rod / drain plug, which screws right in there. Right now this trailer is winterized and the water heater is bypassed. Okay, to turn the heating element, the electric heating element that's behind this cover right here on, you'll use this switch right here. And to operate on gas, the switch is inside. So the bottom line is you cannot run this, you could not turn on the electrical heating element when there's no water in the water heater tank. Otherwise you'll burn it up, just a matter of a minute or so. So always make sure there's water in it. So when you take your water heater out of bypass mode and you screw your drain plug in there, you'll go to a faucet and turn on the hot water side. And because the tank's empty, air will just squirt out, and then it'll be actually a mixture of air and water spitting out. And then eventually you'll get solid water. That's when you know the tank is full, and then you can turn it on and use it. But never use it dry. All right, so this is a outside shower. This is your city water connection right here. This is the normal way you'll almost always hook this thing up. You just hook the hose on there, turn it on, and your trailer's pressurized, ready to go. Now, if you happen to go to a campground or a spot that does not have plumbing on it, you can pre-fill this onboard tank right here and refill it, and then you can use the onboard 12-volt pump to pump the water. So everything will still operate in the trailer like you've got city water, but you'll be carrying it yourself. All right. The fresh water drain is right there. If you can see it, it's got a cap on it. All right. So you have your black tank valve right here, which is toilet water and waste, and then you have your gray here, which is sink and shower water. Okay, below it with the red and blue are low point drains for winterizing. Okay, but so you're gonna dump the black side first because it's dirtier water than the gray water. Then after that's dumped, you'll dump the gray, and it washes out the hose a bit. Then you'll keeping your black valve open, you can hook the hose from the dump station right here, right? It's like it says on the sticker, always make sure the valve is open. We talked about that, always have the valve open on the black side. So you turn on the water, it'll spray out the inside of your black tank, and it'll clean it out even better. It'll spray off the sensors so they keep giving you a good, accurate reading, and it even washes the hose out somewhat. So it's a good thing to do. You have a 50 amp cord, 30 feet long, and you get a reducer with this too. So this reduces it from 50 down to 30, and then we have that small, the puck type reducer that you can put it into this 30 and reduce it down to just something you would have at home if you wanted to plug it at home. Just remember, the air conditioners draw almost 30 amps when they kick on, especially when the compressor cycle's on. So if you run it on 10 or on 15 amps at home, it's eventually going to pop a circuit breaker. And I think I mentioned that this is just cable and satellite through to the entertainment center area. This is your furnace vent. This vent right here on your slide room is for the range hood. So you can, it's hard to see on camera because it's all black, but you can push on these tabs, one at each side, and it'll allow the baffle here to flap freely, right? So when you're running the range hood vent with the fan, you want to have that so it flaps freely. All other times when you're pulling or storing or whatever, you want to have it shut so it doesn't get broke. So keep that in mind. If you're going to vent, you want to open that baffle up. Okay, hopefully that made sense to you. Okay, this, just so you know, this slide out you have is called a Schwintek, as in the bicycle. A Schwintek, made by Lippert. It was originally a Schwintek, but now Lippert's bought it. People still refer to it as a Schwintek, so you know. And of course, your deck is down. Now you see right here, these discs slide right over here. There's one on each side, and it sandwiches in between this bracket here. It keeps it very stable. So you have those all the way around, and they fold up right into the trailer, of course. This would be the gate right here. Okay. Now you have a screened and non-screened flap that folds down, so you can put the screen down at night and keep the bugs out, for example. Still have a nice breeze. All right. Okay, and one more thing while I'm standing here. That housing up there tells us that this is pre-wired for a backup camera. So if you want to get one, we sell them here, but if you get them elsewhere, get the one that's made by Furrion, and it fits in that housing. That way you just take the 4 screws that holds that plate, that cover on there, you reuse those 4 screws, and all you have to do is plug in the camera, screw it on with those 4 screws, and you're ready to go. Just make sure you get the right one that fits in that housing. The thing is, because there's no backup circuit, when you turn on your running lights, it lights up the camera. So you can use it going down the road, or just for backing up, or both, whatever you want to do. Alrighty. So, right inside the door here is your control panel. I'm having a hard time seeing the monitor here. There we go. Okay, so this is your power awning right here. Always remember to never leave the awning out unattended. Otherwise, the wind can damage it very quickly. So if you're not going to be at the campsite, roll it in. 2 lights here. To light your water heater on gas, right here, remember I showed you the switch for the electric is out in the lower left-hand corner of it, right by the heating element. To turn on your water pump, here, use the water pump for pumping water out of your fresh water tank and for winterizing the trailer. To check your battery, it's charged totally. Always keep in mind to check it when you're not plugged in, because it'll always say charged when you're plugged in. Fresh water is empty, black water is empty, gray is empty. Okay. As it fills up, it graduates up in one-third increments. So once you get past 2/3, you got to think about dumping it. Alrighty. So here we are. TV, of course. This down here is your carbon monoxide LP gas detector. It should always be green. The LED should always be green. If not, you get it serviced. There is a button on there for self-test. It'll run through 2 self-tests, so if you ever want to check it out, you just push that button. Obviously, if it goes off, you take everybody outside, leave the door open, shut the gas off at the front, and figure out what's going on. Alright, the microwave works like any other microwave. This is the vent hood that I told you about, the range hood. If you turn on the fan, then you want to open that baffle outside. Okay. Your range is very simple. I'm not sure if the gas is on, so we'll have to see. But this on the left side, this is the sparker. You turn it like this to spark it. Let's see if the gas is on. Yes, it is. So you can see it lit right there. Just turn it to the picture of the flame to light it. So you have 3 burners, 1 knob for each. Then you have this one, which is for the oven. The oven has a pilot light in it. It's back there. I can spark it so you can see approximately where it's at, hopefully. Sometimes you can. But it's all the way to the back in the center. So what you have to do is you have to turn this to pilot, which is right there. Then you depress it and keep it depressed. You're going to spark it by turning this knob clockwise till the pilot light down here lights. Once it lights, you're still holding this in for another 10 seconds or so to heat it up. Then you go to operating temperature. When you shut it off, the flame goes out obviously, but so does the pilot light. So you have to relight the pilot light each time you use the oven. Alrighty, you got remote for your TV. This particular TV, let me see here. Look at it real quick. Yeah, you can pick the speaker zones inside and outside from this remote, that sort of thing. So it's good. Okay. Your refrigerator is a 12-volt compressor type refrigerator. All right, so you have the bed, right, and then you have the couches. Now these will actually lay flat. You roll them over so they're flat, and then you push it up all the way. I don't know where, guys. He must be setting this up right now. So keep that in mind. Here's the switch for it right here. The lift switch. I'm sure you know that if you're buying one. You've been looking at them, so you got a good idea. So let me see. There should be a power. Let me look here. See if I can find the power converter. Here it is here. So I'm in the front bedroom. This is the power converter here. This converts AC to DC power. So it converts 110 AC to 12 volt DC. So you can see on this side you got regular household type circuit breakers like you'd see at home, and they're all labeled. That's 110 AC. Then the power is converted to 12 volt DC over here, and you got 12 volt fuses, and they're labeled. Okay, this will also, if you're plugged in, it'll also charge your battery up front. So it's a battery tender actually. So it'll always keep that charged, and then it produces all the 12 volt you need also when you're plugged in. If any of these fuses were to blow, they'll actually light up, and you can see them through this tinted plastic here. Whoops, tinted plastic right there, so you know that one blew. Okay. Alrighty. This is for a TV set here. There's a backer plate right here, so you can put a bracket up there. You got antenna and power. Okay. Your thermostat is just an analog thermostat. It's self-explanatory. All the way to the right is heat. All the way to the left is cool. Right before the cool is fan, which is just the air conditioner running without the compressor. So, you know, you can just circulate air if you need to. And try to always keep it on auto, if you can, the fan. Alright, so the sink and the shower work like any other sink and shower. Always run the vent fan with the shower to pull any kind of humidity out. You don't want to, you know, create an environment where you get mold or mildew. Alright, your toilet, although not hooked up to water, and that's antifreeze obviously, but your black tank's directly below, right? So you got to have water in your black tank to start using the toilet. So when you get to the campground, hook up your water and your power, then you'll come in here and just step on the pedal and let water swirl into the tank and put, you know, like around a gallon or so in there. There's no way to tell exactly what that is. You just stand on it a bit because you got to have some water in there to start off with. You can't use it dry, so keep that in mind. This belongs to our tech, our absent-minded tech. This GFCI, keep in mind that all the plugs in the trailer are wired to a GFCI, so even the one on the outside will be reset here. Alrighty. Okay, let me look around and see if I forgot anything. Okay, no, I think I've got it. So, we're going to go over it with you when you pick it up. But this just gives you something to use as a reference to look back at. So, that about covers it. Now, you want to go up on the roof, and every 90 days or so, you want to look at all the sealant on the roof, make sure there's no cracking or separation, look at the roofing material, make sure there's nothing's torn or damaged by road debris flying up there when you go down the expressway, or low tree branches. Just give it a good look over to make sure everything's okay. It's very important to do that. So if you figure in the spring, the middle of the summer, and then in the fall, you're going to go up there or have someone else go up there and check it out, okay? All right, well, thank you for purchasing your trailer here at National RV Detroit. And we'll go over your trailer with you when you get here a bit, okay? Thank you.